Hi. So here we are in Frederick Douglass's 1852 speech, "What to the Slave is the 4th of July?" And we're preparing for this Oxford English Dictionary assignment. I'm recording the prequel to replace an old video that doesn't work anymore. And so here I'm going to go to a passage in the document. Here he says, after concluding this section of the speech in which he basically says, like, hey, I'll leave it to you guys to celebrate. You're the ones who are interested in the 4th of July, interested in this very deep sense of being involved in all the ideology. And for Black people like me, Frederick Douglass speaking there, the 4th of July doesn't really have that much to do with us, except to point up the tremendous irony of the celebration of freedom for a population that is enslaved in chains. So he says, I'll leave it to Americans. It might be safely left in American hands. The sort of self-praise involved in 4th of July celebrations. I leave, therefore, the great deeds of your fathers to other gentlemen whose claim to have been regularly descended will be less likely to be disputed than mine. And here, he's actually making a very pointed remark that might be easy to pass over, but I was interested in the use of the word regularly here. So when I'm interested in the use of a word, I turn to the Oxford English Dictionary online. And where do I find it? It's in the library databases. Here I'm on the Stony Brook Library site, go to databases, go to O, go to the bottom where the OX, all the Oxford stuff is going to come up. And here I am in the Oxford English Dictionary. It's a historical dictionary, meaning that it tracks the changes in the use of the English language over time. I'll type in my word, which, as you see, I've typed in before. And, it's like a cooking show where I've already prepped it. I could just look up the adjective regular instead of the adverb, but I found that the adverb works okay for my purposes. And regular, today we use it to mean sort of like normal or uniform, and conformity to a general rule or established principle, it's regular. But the idea of rules, which is built into the etymology of the word, and it's used from derivation from Old French or Middle French, I think it says, was maybe more active, the idea of regular having to do with rules in the 19th century usage, with due order or method in an orderly or methodical manner, according to or in accordance with a set of rules or regulations, as a matter of rule without exception. And I wanted to find this instance that I particularly liked. So this one, in accordance with a set of rules or regulations, if you look at the 1849 usage from Macaulay's History of England, this is almost contemporary, or it is contemporary, but almost at the exact same time as Douglass's usage, it's just a few years apart. He well knew that if the crown descended to his wife regularly, all its prerogatives would descend unimpaired with it. And what's interesting about this usage is that it has that same idea of regular descent, and back to Douglass's usage, I'm going to copy this line. We'll pretend I'm doing this whole thing now. I can go and copy the citation. I'd have to go back and forth in order to do that. Do it in MLA format. There's the citation from the OED. Now back to what's a slave is the 4th of July. And you look at what he's writing there. I leave, therefore, the great deeds of your fathers to other gentlemen whose claim to have been regularly descended. And you could probably get an idea of what this means already, but focusing on the language just brings our attention to it a little bit more. And what he's referring to is the point that he's also the descendant of white Americans who were in the colonies, and may or may not have been part of the American Revolution, presumably were. Maybe he's the descendant of a family that was in Maryland at the time of the Revolution, a white family, but he's a child of rape. He's the child of a white master that forced itself on an enslaved woman. And like a lot of African Americans, there was a recent op-ed making this point about being the descendant of a rapist. Like a lot of African Americans, he's got white blood. so to speak, or genes, but these were irregularly descended or illegitimately descended, in the sense that his parent owned him but didn't acknowledge him as his son. And so his descendant from the patriots of the American Revolution is irregular, and highlights the irony of him giving his 4th of July speech. Of course, on the occasion of the speech, everyone is in on the irony. That's why they've invited him. It's the Rochester Ladies Anti-Slavery Society. So he's not delivering, he's not sort of attacking them with his remarks, but he's definitely using them as a platform for this, for pointing out this terrible irony of the enslavement of such a large population within a country that is celebrating this ideal of freedom. Okay, so that's the Oxford English Dictionary work, and I've already sort of pointed it out in this hypothesis annotation. There's the OED and there's the citation, and now I could just copy it, paste it into the assignment, and upload, and I'm done with the assignment.